show will be starting in 1 minute. I got my brother Jrich on the line. We're going to be talking about some important topics, controversial topics.
Knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
All right, welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live podcast. I have my co-host, brother Jrich, getting ready to come in. We're going to talk about some important topics. You know how we do. Let's get into it and let's start the program.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, come on into the building, family. Peace and blessings. Before I bring my brother Jrich in, he wanted to talk about, of course, we want to talk about the riots that's going on, the incident that happened in Minnesota. But I wanted to play a quick video real quick, and then I'm going to bring brother Jrich in and to get your feelings on this incident. It's when the brother in Minnesota was being carried into the ambulance. So let's see if I can pull this up for brother Jrich.
The man. He gets out the way. Just look at this. This man who's touching him. All right? Not the officer. The man with the watch on right there. I want y'all to pay attention to something to him. He has a bulletproof vest on. All right? He has an officer's uniform on. No one paid attention to that when the ambulance pulled in. Not one EMT got out of the vehicle. But there's no medical equipment there whatsoever. That there were cops who jumped out of the back of that ambulance and picked up that man and put him in there. So they didn't even give him medical attention, and those were not the EMT. When they show him, look at that. Those are police officers. Those armed police officers are taking that man away. There is no EMT on the scene. It's like it's a sham. They got an ambulance and put police officers in there and went and picked that dead man up off the street. That was some straight bullshit.
Wow, so, man, that's, again, that's something else to be disturbed about. I am going to pull my brother Jrich in now and see if my brother's ready. Peace and blessings, brother Jrich. What's going on with you today? Now, I want to talk to you a little bit. We got a lot to talk about today. We haven't been going in a couple of weeks, so I want to make sure we get it all in. First of all, talk about the video that we were just playing. It was police that got out. The way they even grabbed the brother, you could tell that wasn't a trained, hospital or ambulance person. Talk about what that video is showing and your thoughts of that. Okay. Correct.
He became uncooperative. There's another angle of this video, man. That they were beating this man. They were beating this man.
Now hold on, brother Jrich. You had blanked out a little bit there, so I want to make sure that they get you all in. They said they didn't hear you, so I want you to go back, and I apologize. Go back and talk about the video again. You were talking about there weren't any anybody there that was medical that was there. Go ahead and go into that again.
Yeah, that wasn't trained that wasn't trained medical personnel. The guy that came and assisted them in getting him onto the gurney, he was clearly a police officer. That was not trained medical personnel. There was no medical attention given to this man on the scene. You know, they knew that he was dead. And they proceeded. Then no one gave him CPR. No one tried to revive him. I don't see anybody checking his pulse. No one tried to protect his head and his neck when they were transferring him onto the gurney. They called for 911. This ambulance had to stop somewhere to pick up these police officers, and then they just went and picked this man up off of the streets. It's disgusting because there was at no point did they ever attempt to save this man's life. No point at all.
Now, let me ask you that, because that is very deep. When you see the guy coming out, and I apologize, the video was low. When you see the guy jumping out, he has a bulletproof vest on. So that just threw and then you start to see him carry it, and you do see it's all cops. Do you think that was a safety reason? I want to put everything out there so we give the situation, every bit of just cause. Do you think it was a safety issue? Because the crowd didn't seem that amped up. And do you feel that they just knew he was dead and to get the body out the way very quick? Why do you think that they just didn't have regular, nurses, hospital, ambulance workers coming out?
For whose safety are we talking about? Because if it was a safety issue and somebody was concerned about safety, then someone would have ran over and knocked this cop off of this guy's neck. If it was a safety issue, no one approached him. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing is that the officer's brother-in-law kept trying to step in front of the camera to block you from seeing who was getting out of the ambulance, who was picking him up. He constantly trying to block your view.
Now, for those that also couldn't see, it was a previous video, and it was kind of the same. I couldn't pull the other one up, where it looked like one of the officers checked the brother's pulse first. So it seemed to me that they already knew he had passed before they moved the body.
People lose their pulse all the time. That's why you perform CPR. And as a trained officer, you should know how to perform CPR. And that's why I said, when at no point did you see anyone trying to revive this man. Even when he went limp and he was no longer moving, he was no longer speaking, no one moved from off of his body to say, all right, we need to do CPR, something's not right. None. They're trained in this.
Now, I want to, we're going to go to the phone show. We get a lot going on as well. I want to talk about the riots. I also want to talk about my man Joe Biden. A couple of weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, he was talking about you're not black if you vote for anybody else but Joe Biden. I'm not going to say, the choices names. What did you feel about that statement from Joe Biden, brother Jrich?
Yeah, when we get into Joe Biden, man, it's it's a bit of an upgrade from what we got in the office right about now, but it ain't much, man. It ain't much. We going from Trump to Biden, man. That's just like going from XP, you know what I mean, the XP Pro or Home Edition. You know what I mean? It's really not that great of a upgrade when you start looking at the things that, you know what I mean. Don't look at what he said. When you start looking at the things that he has done, when you start looking into, he was all for building the wall. He's actually signed bills long before Trump ever ran, you know what I mean, was running for president. He's actually signed bills to get funding to building, you know what I mean, a border around America, you know. So when Trump says, oh, let's build a wall, Biden already, you know what I mean, voted for funding for this some time ago. When you talk about women's rights, Biden has already voted on issues, you know what I mean, just to say like, oh, yeah, I'm all for women's rights, but you don't have the right to do this medically. You don't have the right to do that medically, so on and so forth. When you start talking about, you know what I mean, civil rights and everything, he's like, oh, yeah, I was a part of civil rights. No, I wasn't a part of it. I was a part of them with them in spirit. You know, I wasn't there. At first I was protesting, then I wasn't protesting, and so on and so forth. And then he turned, then the one bill that he actually did produce, you know, took civil rights backwards. So I have a lot of doubts, man. I don't have a lot of faith in Joe Biden, but the way I look at it, our issue is bigger than the issue that we're really facing is why is it that we only get to choose between Trump and Biden? That's the much bigger issue. And I hope that in the midst of all of these riots, we get a civil voice that comes out, man, because these DAs are voted in. These judges are voted in. These sheriffs are voted in. These mayors are voted in. These governors are voted in. And I hope that we can find a calming voice in all of these cities across America, man, to get these people out. If the first thing, once this all of this settles, if your city council does not come together and says we need to start a citizen oversight of police action, then you need to get them off of your city board and only put people on there that is actually concerned with your wealth and health and well-being. Because if they're not willing to hold the police accountable, then they don't need to be there. Because this is going to continue to go on and on and on. And that is one of the first ways that you are going to get these people out of that position and put people in a position that are actually going to protect you, the people that are actually going to look out for you. Get them out of there. If they're against, you know what I mean, oversight of the police, then they're for the police.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to stay on Biden for a minute. My man P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, I'm used to call him from the 80s and the early the 90s. He said we need to hold our vote. The vote isn't free. You said there's obviously a better choice than another choice. You know, there is a better choice. But what should we be demanding for Joe Biden when it comes to the black vote? Clearly, we don't want to vote for this brother and don't get anything in return in 4 years. You know, we just proud that we got one person out but didn't get anything in return. What should the voters be asking for in reference from Joe Biden in order for him to get that black vote?
Voters should be asking for Joe Biden, and in terms of if we're going to continue to bail out billion-dollar corporations, if we're going to continue to bail out billion-dollar banks and currency holding organizations, that if you have a loan, if you have a house loan, if you have a mortgage through America, through any bank that is getting government subsidies, what are we getting? So in this so-called pandemic, you know, these billionaires made hundreds of billions of dollars in the midst of this. And on top of the money that they made generating just from selling like their products and their services and everything else, gave them billions of dollars more. What do we get in return? They say like, oh, if you live in a HUD house, then you don't have to pay your rent for the next 3 months. No. If you gave Bank of America $100 million then Bank of America needs to be wiping $100 million of their mortgages off of the books, and it needs to start with the poorest of the people. And they need to be wiping those mortgages off the books. Capital One needs to be wiping those mortgages, those car notes, and everything off of their books. Why? Because you are getting taxpayer money to bail out your company, and at the same time, you are still holding the taxpayers that are bailing you out of your situation. You're still holding them in debt to the debt that they owe you. They already paid their debt when the government gave you that money. That was their debt. When you have like these cruise line ships that purposely register their businesses outside of the U.S. so they don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to pay taxes. They do not pay taxes, but you'll use your and my tax dollars to help them out in a time of crisis. No, you didn't want to be registered in the U.S. You don't take any U.S. dollars. And then you turn around and before this, you knew that this thing was going on back in November. So you automatically, as president and as Congress, you start cutting Medicaid funding. So you're cutting off health care to like the poorest of the people in the nation. And this is not a white thing. This is not a black thing. This is a poor people's thing. You are cutting off welfare. You are cutting off health care to the poorest people that can't afford it. And then you turn around and be like, oh, there's a pandemic. You know what I mean? Oh, you need to get to the hospital. And people are like, well, what are we going to get to the hospital for? I'm like, oh, the healthcare company will pay for it. Blue Cross, I work, you know what I mean, within the healthcare industry. Blue Cross is like, yeah, no, we're not. No, we're not. United Healthcare is like, no, we're not. You know, and then Como is up there in New York, and he's going on about, oh, we need ventilators. You know, New York is getting hit hard with this, getting hit hard with this. And while he's doing all like these TV promos and pumping up and trying to act like he's going against Trump, he cut Medicaid. He cut the very funding. He cut the very health care benefits of the people that were most at risk. You can't trust these people. If they're going to get into office, what we want back in return, we want the same treatment that they give people that actually don't need it. You know, why does Bill Gates need bailout? Why? He doesn't. You know, this guy from Amazon is about to be a trillionaire by the end of this year, man. This dude has made so much money off of this corona. He's about to be a trillionaire. And I'm like, hey, man, if you out there and you hustling and you getting it done, then you go ahead and get it done. But at the same time, you turn around and you lobby against paying mandatory sick leave. You have made over $200 billion in one quarter due to this pandemic. And then you tell your workers when they get sick because of this pandemic, oh, well, then you need to try to borrow some sick leave from your coworkers. Dude, you've made more money than anybody can ever imagine. More money than your great grandkids will ever be able to spend. And you can't afford to pay somebody sick leave, but you expect them to stand on their feet for 12, 16 hours, you know what I mean, pushing your product out the door so you can get it delivered within 2 to 3 days. And if Joe Biden is not going to address those type of issues, because this is modern day slavery, man. If you're working 12 hours and you can't show up to work one day and this dude is making billions of dollars off of your work, and he's telling you, no, I'm not paying you any sick leave. I'm not paying you sick leave. If he can't address those issues, then he shouldn't be in office.
Brother Jrich, you flowing. I'm going to take a phone call. If you're just tuning in, you're welcome to the Real Truth and Power Live podcast, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge yourself. I'm here with my co-host, my brother Jrich. He is flowing today. I'm going to take a phone call. Last 4 digits, 8058. 8058. I'm bringing you in now. Can you hear me, caller?
What's going on, King?
What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
There's no Mason. No Mason 10-2 approved. I'm actually in Philadelphia right now. You hear me?
Yes, I
Can
hear
you. Hear me?
I hear you better. And your name again?
Yeah, this is Omasius.
Oh, what's going on, Oasis? Peace and blessings, my brother. I got brother Jrich on the line. I'm glad you in here because I want to talk about the village and everything you're doing.
I'm gonna get off the I was watching it live and on the phone too. So I just closed live.
Okay.
So that I won't have.
You good? You still there? Brother Jrich, you there? All right, while I'm bringing them back in. Yeah, I got y'all. Both of y'all there. All right. So go ahead.
Busy, man. To get busy.
So I had lost you there for a minute. Run that back. What's your feelings about what's going on now with the riots and everything?
With the riots, one of the things that I think is being massively overlooked right now is the fact that, number one, it's definitely about the fact that we are tired of getting killed. But number two, we're looking for the criminal justice reform, but we also looking for economic reform too. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we don't need to be looting," but you got to understand, people are out here hungry. We're not only protesting getting killed; we're protesting this systematic oppression economically that has been keeping us from acquiring resources and of the quality of life that we deserve as God's chosen children.
And they locking us out of being able to get our unemployment. They can't even get our
Most people right now haven't even gotten their unemployment checks yet. People are still trying to get money who haven't got money yet. So most of these people right now looting, they see an opportunity to acquire some resources for their family, for themselves, to possibly maybe make some money off of possibly. Because economically we've been shut out of the system of abundance and quality of life for so long that now it's like it's not just about us getting killed physically. It's about us getting killed every day. I'm in Philly right now. They looting stores right now as we speak. They broke into the Rite Aid right now. It's really going crazy like out here because people are tired. People are mad. People are angry. So I'm happy that you create this platform and that you guys are doing your thing to make people aware of what's going on, man. Because we definitely have to understand that these are not thugs out here. It's not people who just want to be terrorists too. We have been through terror every day. So I just wanted to add that little bit, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, I appreciate you for calling. Real quick, talk about the platform you're providing, the new social media platform for Black people you're providing. Real quick, while I got you on here.
Yeah, man. For me, yeah. So my major focus is economics, man. So economics is energy connected. It's all about engagement, ways that we can engage with each other to be able to provide resources, because that's what it's all about, man. So one of the main focuses was about us being able to engage. So created the Nagaru Village Fly Society, which is cooperative economic community. You can definitely sign up at Nagaru Village, NAGARU village.mn.co. Nagaru, Native Autonomous Gods of all reckoning, man. We have to understand. We have to remember our awareness to the connection to the source, and we got to take back our resources to create, and we're gonna be able to do that together. So right now, the unrest is here. The calm before, the storm is here right now. We going through it, but it's about to be peace because. We now realizing that we have to work together to be able to self-actualize and produce resources for ourselves, So Nagaru Village, man, Fly Society, cooperative economic community. Please, download the app, NagaruVillage.mn.co on the Mighty Network, and it's about us coming together, engaging together, but also join the tribe, find out which tribe is you. Whether it's the farming agriculture tribe, the media tribe, the political tribe, whatever. We just want to create a place where we can engage and be able to create together, and that's what the platform is all about, man. So I appreciate you definitely reminding me to shout that out.
No doubt. I appreciate you for calling. And hold on one second before I let you go. I'm gonna make sure I put that link up in there so everybody can see it. Let me see if I got that up right now. Hold on one second, because I want to just make sure I promote that too, and get that information out to the people. And if you guys got it's a great platform.
After all
for
this is over, man, we gotta be able to actualize it. You know.
Right, I got you.
We often have these. I was saying we often have these. Unrest come up and these things happen, but we gotta utilize this energy and transfer this energy into being able to actually create the autonomy that we deserve. You know, as children of the Most High. You know, so that's what it's about, man. It's coming together.
I appreciate you again, my brother. I appreciate you again, and we definitely got to hook up so I can get you on here.
Definitely.
All right. Brother Jay. All right, I got another caller on. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Brother Jrich, what do you have to say to that caller? And then I'll be taking 6109 next. 6109.
I think that's a beautiful thing, man, and I hope that that's one of the biggest things that come about of all of this, man. That we learn to pull our resources together. Stop going to like these beauty supply shops, man. And instead, if you got like about 4 or 5 females that you know to do nails and do hair, put your money together. Because these Koreans, man, they're not going to sell you hair unless you're willing to buy $20,000 worth of product, $15,000 worth of product, $30,000 worth of product. And it's ridiculous to try to put that type of pressure on one person. But if you do it the same way they do it, and you come up with your own network of people, of salons all around like the city and outside of the city, and then, you know what I mean, all of y'all put your money together, and then you go to them and say like, oh, well, you need $30,000. Okay, well, then you send us $40,000 worth of product, and then you get going. And that's the way to go. And I'm hoping that, you know what I mean, more people call in and have platforms to bring us together, man, with like this economic solidarity, man. The biggest thing that people miss out, man, on like the marches, man, was the boycotts. It was the boycotts. It was the withholding of the money, man. You like when they seem like, oh man, you know, we hold the biggest buying power in America. And when you realize that fact, that all you have to do is not spend your money, then they'll start paying you some attention.
I'm going to take another phone call, 6109. And before I take that call, I just want to make, that was an excellent point you made, Brother Jrich. I think sometimes we think and we upset and we angry and we rioting, but there's also an economic power that we have. We just need to stop supporting a lot of these businesses until we get what we want in society. Let me take the next caller. That is 6109. 6109. Are you there, my brother? Peace and blessings. 6109. What's your name and where you calling from? Let me see if I can get him. 6109. I'm going to put you on hold real quick. And I am going to go to 6117. 6117. 6117. How you doing today? Are you there?
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's your name? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Fred. I'm calling right outside of Pittsburgh.
How you doing today? You're not a Steelers fan, are you? You're not a Steelers fan, are you?
Yeah. I'll let you go. Into a family.
Oh, you got to pass then. You got to pass. You got to pass. You got to pass.
Yeah. I was listening to your show, and once again, you guys are having some great insights. And I have to agree with Mr. Richardson that besides just the protests, the African American community and their supporters outside of the African American communities, they need to use their wallets, show their frustration with this, how the society is doing right now towards these communities of color, and also poor communities in general, regardless of color. They need to show them that you just cannot operate this way anymore. You have to withhold money to make yourself heard.
Right. You're right.
If I'm making, yeah.
No, you're
So
making.
that is.
Sorry to cut you off. You're making definitely you're making a lot of positive leeway here because
Mhm.
I think a lot of people don't understand that the economic power is what we all should be shooting for, economically, politically. And sometimes we go and we're getting frustrated and we all of these things. But like you said, one of the main things in the early 60s that started a lot of the great movements was boycotting. We're not going to use your buses. We'll use our own buses or stuff like that. Brother Jrich, you want to go in on the call as well?
Yeah, man. I think that when you realize like the power that you hold economically, everything changes. Everything changes because it's a very, very simple thing to do, as in just not spend your money. And people think, oh, we got to do this, we got to spend money on this, we got to spend our money on this. And then the reality is, all you really have to do is just stop spending your money. They look to us. Did you notice that, once they start talking about sending out these stimulus checks, all of a sudden Best Buy is emailing you 5 times a day about the flat screen TV, about this, about that, get your appliances now, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Now they're talking about another stimulus check coming out. Now, you know what I mean? Macy's is hitting me up. I got Kohl's hitting me up. I got, all these places out the woodworks, coming out. Someone like, oh, this is a sale, this is a sale. Nah, man, I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything at all. Only got like one thing on my mind right now that I'm looking to purchase, and I'm looking to buy that from a black business owner. I appreciate you, Big Freddie. Yeah, man, we got to get up, man, and get together, man, and continue to build not only our communities, but man, the important thing is when people look at this rioting and everything going on, it's always seemed like an isolated incident when black people riot. But when they burned down Oklahoma and they burned down Black Wall Street, when they burned down the neighborhoods in Georgia that were predominantly black, that were affluent, nobody blinks an eye. Nobody says anything. Mm-hmm. When they go through,
of course not, because that was
sure, yeah, man. And it's embedded in American history. Anytime like black people started to pull themselves together and grow economically, the Klan, the white nationalists, they came in and they killed, as many people as they could, and they burned these cities to the ground. They burned these towns to the ground, or they got, they got the mayor to approve highways to come through their town. To break up the town. So now everybody is being moved out of there so they can build a highway, or better yet, so they can build Central Park. Exactly. People need to go back and look at the history of Central Park. Central Park was a very affluent black community. It wasn't Central Park. It was a black community that they kicked all them people out of there and then built the park up in New York. You from New York, right, Big Brother?
Yeah, because actually Harlem was actually Dutch, and that was then it became African American. And once they built the park, a lot of the African Americans, many of them who were descendants of Revolutionary War soldiers, just simply moved a few blocks up. So, yeah, you I mean, once again, I have to agree with you about the stances that the African American community and the poor communities need to take economically. If you want to make a larger noise than simply a riot or a burning building, it's close your wallets and make sure that you hurt them that way.
And I want to make this point too, that and this is not a race thing; it's a right and wrong thing. There are a lot of white people out there as well, side by side with black people. So I do want to say that this is actually a thing I think that we need to look at and say this is just a right and a wrong thing, and this is something that's really wrong that we got to correct. Go ahead, caller.
And that's why I was saying, when I said the African American community and also the poor community, communities who are not so affluent. You could even include, if you want to, lower middle class. Gentleman who probably has a good paying job, but still needs his wife to go out there and also work in order to just make ends meet.
Right.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not just black and white, but the thing is that the brunt of it, the brunt that this society essentially, the way it exerts its pressure, it's felt mostly on the African American community, and also to an extent the Latino community, and also the indigenous community. That is, the indigenous community goes through, and they go through poverty that's only really seen in third world countries, and they're here within the United States themselves. So yeah, it's not just like you said, it's not just black and white. Excuse me, it's both black and white, but like I said, it's the African American community that always seems to bear the brunt.
Well, I want to thank you for calling. Calling, please call again, and thank you for that. Was just a very knowledgeable, uplifting call. So I definitely appreciate you.
Oh, thank you for giving me the time.
Not a problem at all. You too. Have a great evening. All right, brother Jrich. Let me try to get this one more caller again. Hopefully he's still on. Let me see if I still got him. He may be gone. I might have lost him. All right, we'll go in on that call a little bit, Jrich. So that was a good call right there.
Yeah, man. Like unification. I think at the end of the day, man, no matter what happens and what turns out, man, unification. The scariest thing, man, that the one thing, the biggest thing that got Malcolm and Martin killed was coming together. Was people understanding that we're in this together. The Poor People's March, man, the Poor People's Movement. You know what I mean? They may shoot and kill us in the street or what have you, but you're just as oppressed as I am. You know,
right.
They're hitting you with they're hitting you with the same crimes and hitting you with felonies and then telling you can't vote, you can't get a job, you can't do this and you can't do that. Yeah, you have a little more privilege than we do. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they're oppressing us both. You know, right. And when people start to come together and understand, man, that this oppression is systematic, man. It's systematic. It's not looking out, you know what I mean, just to get rid of like one group of people. It's looking to get rid of a whole group of people. So when people are on Facebook and people on Instagram and they're pointing out people that they know as being police officers, you know what I mean, that's taking part in riots. You know, when you see the New York police running people over with their cars in the midst of a riot over police brutality, and you're still out there, you're still brutalizing people during a march against police brutality. I watched this one officer hit this woman with a bike. You know what I mean? He literally picked the bike up and swung at this woman. You know what I mean? She didn't touch him. She didn't. You know what I mean? She wasn't. You know, she didn't touch him. She was just voicing her opinion, and he swung and tried to smack her with this bike, and then somebody else hit him, and so on and so forth. You are inciting, you know what I mean, people to violence because you're being violent. You know, I don't know, it's countless videos I've seen where people are not even protesting. They're just out there partying. They're out there having a good time. They're blocking the street. They don't want to be violent. They don't want to be seen as violent. They got music playing, but then you have a whole nother group of people that I don't even think cares about police brutality. I don't think they care about Brother Floyd, man, they got killed. I don't think that they care about Orlando. I don't think they care about any of these people that have been killed by the police. What they want to do, they just want violence. They want anarchy. They just want to be a part of the confusion, not a part of the coming together. And right. you have to separate yourself from these people, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of those people that, you know what I mean. It's the same. For instance, the Freddie Gray so-called riots, peaceful marches. You had a small handful of people that went out to take an advantage of this peaceful protest to break into stores. They didn't care anything about what happened to Freddie Gray. They didn't care anything about police brutality. They wanted to break into stores, and that's what they went and did under the disguise of a peaceful march. And I think a lot of times you are having the same thing happen in a lot of these cities. The vast majority of these people are just marching peacefully. One of the most disturbing things that I seen this morning was up in Minnesota, a tank rolling through the neighborhood at the break of dawn, and they're shooting at people that are looking out their doors trying to figure out why in the world is the military marching down our streets. We're not protesting. We're not in the streets. We're in the houses trying to figure out where this tank came from.
Hold on, brother Jrich. I want to get to the phone call real quick. I'm gonna try to get this brother back on 6109. Are you on the air? 6109. Are you there, caller? Let me see here. Make sure, because I see him on the line. 6109. Your last four digits. 6109. Are you there?
Yes.
Oh, I got you.
6109.
Yes. What's your name and where you calling from?
Arthur Chisholm, Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, first of all, brother Jrich, I want to introduce you to this brother. He's in the Collective Black People Movement with me, brother AC. He has a phenomenal show coming out on the network. Talk about your show real quick for me, brother AC.
Okay. Let me first say that if we get disconnected, I've been having problem with this phone all day, and we just got disconnected a few seconds ago, and I had to call you back.
Okay.
But years ago, what started this project was, I've always been self-employed, and one day I was en route from Savannah coming to Charleston, and I said to myself, there's got to be more to life than what we are living. We don't control anything. We just consumers, most of us. And that brought on the show. And I can tell you a long story about what got me into where I am. But I'll just start with the fact that I think it was somewhere around in 2011. I started this show called AC Fun Time Superstars because and then let me tell you this, and then I'll get into that. When I was a little boy, my mother used to give us castor oil, and the castor oil was nasty. So she was smart. She would put honey in the castor oil, and that would make it taste like honey.
Okay.
So we would drink it, and after we would get it down in our stomachs, we would taste that nasty castor oil. But a couple of days later, we would no longer be sick. So I use that concept because people's attention span is short. So what I started doing is going around in the community, talking to people about what's going on in our community that's not getting the proper attention. And then I start talking to the community leaders to address the issues. But then I would do 3 minutes of entertainment. That was called the honey. And the 3 minutes of information was called the castor oil. So we would mix the two together, castor oil and honey. So we started the show up, and as the show went on, I think we took the show up until 2000. I think I took the show to 2016.
Okay.
2016 is when it came out of the show, and I'm gonna try to be brief because I'm long-winded. Okay, but presently, what I'm getting ready to do now is I realize that we've got gifts, we've got talent and resource all over the place. But the problem is, Jimmy doesn't know what Michael is doing, and Michael doesn't know what Jerry is doing, and they're all over the place. So what we want to do is connect people's gifts, talents, and resources together so we can start changing, building a new reality to change our economic situation. Because right now, what's happening now is we've got a lot of good, honest people that have turned into crime because just like everybody that's come on the line has been saying the same thing. We are just sick and tired of being killed in the street, treated like second-class citizens, and not being able to come to the table and have a piece of the pie. So what I would want to do here, and the brother, would it be correct to say the people who are teaming up with me? But I'm also looking for partners out there to team up with me. If you got information can feed the minds of the people, I'd like you to team up with me. And I'd also like if you got gift, talent, and resource that you can bring to the table, that you're looking for someone in another town, another area that connect with you to take you to a new level, then we need to hook up and get this information connected so we can get out of the situation where we're in, so we can start building businesses in our community so we can no longer be consumers. Brother, you want to add anything to that? Because you know all about what I'm doing.
No, you're doing a phenomenal job. And the name of the show is AC. So what's the name of your show again, brother AC?
AC Fun Time Superstars. Now, what I'm doing presently, every week I share a video from our previous television show, and I link it to what we are dealing with in our lives today. That would be the title. And presently, you can reach me on Facebook, Arthur Chisholm, and I'm riding a white horse. And if you've got information that can feed the minds of the people, then we'd like to talk to you. Or if you've got gifts and talents that would help our people connect with you, or you connect with them, so we can go to a new level and get a new reality for the new world that we walk through, then we need to connect.
All right, brother AC, you breaking up, but I appreciate you for calling. Have a blessed day. All right, have a good one. You still there, brother Jrich?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, man, like that, the Collective Black Unity website, man. We need to put that out there because we have a lot of black business owners, man. We need to be able to connect people to those people so that we can start to build like these relationships, man, and unify like our buying power. Buying power is huge, man. It's huge when you start talking about no matter what product it is, whether it's haircut products, whether it's lumber, no matter what it is you're doing. When you start talking about computers, if you got your own, you selling cell phones, whatever it is, if you can link up with like 5, 6 other people and y'all bring your money together collectively, your buying power and your leverage and being able to get better pricing so that you can give your people better deals is huge. Because one of the biggest things, as we both know, you know what I mean, is that when you walk into like a black corner store and they selling water for $2, you're like, oh man, why I got paid $2 for the water? But you walk into 7-Eleven and you don't blink an eye when it's $2.50.
Right.
But if you have that buying power to be able to sell, you know what I mean, water and undercut, you know what I mean, 7-Eleven even more. You know, now you're able to take away their customers and build money within the black community. And once you start getting a certain amount of revenue coming in, now you're able to hire people that live in that community. And that's the way that it used to be. My grandfather ran his own business, and everybody that he hired lived in the same neighborhood as him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or they knew him in some type of way, or knew somebody that knew him. And this is how we kept each other employed.
Right. Before I take another call, Jrich, I got another call on the line. I want to just go over this real quick. As you can see up there, we go right over here in the red link. That is the website to the collectiveblackpeoplemovement.org. You really want to get with them right away. The membership is like 27 cents a day, and they're not even stressing you paying the membership right now. They're stressing the power of numbers. So I want everybody to go on there, sign up, get to know what this organization is about. We're about to push the whole new YouTube channel, which is going to be powerful. It's going to be a lot of shows like mine, cooking shows, shows like AC Fun Time, Real Truth and Power Live. Brother Jrich will have a show on there. So we are really excited to pump up this new platform. And again, it's all black. And then right here, this link, you want to check this link out. It's a black social media network for all of us to put our post in. It's like the black Facebook. So I know you guys might have heard of Dr. Boyce Watkins Black Enough. This is something more powerful. Get in there now. I'm telling you, you're going to really love the powerful information. And caller, you are on the line. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Peace and blessings. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is John Morant. calling from Owens Mill.
Reverend John Morant. What's going on with you, Rev?
Hey, what's going on, E? How's everything going, man?
Everything's going well. Everything's going well. Wanted to talk to you. What is your opinion about what's going on in this place and time? Where we at with the rioting and things of that nature? Just drop some gems on us for me.
Well, of course, I always bring in my spiritual concept to situations like this. I am totally against the rioting. Because in the rioting, we're destroying our own cities. We're destroying the very businesses that share as, I would say, economic growth, and also share as our source of needs, source of food, source of clothing. So I am against rioting, but I am for peaceful protesting. Peaceful protesting is the only thing that will make change. It's the only thing that will make change in this world today. We turn back history, the days of Martin Luther King, how he protested. Changes were brought about. I said, but even in protesting, you're going to deal with, there will be people that are going to be martyred for the change. And unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. So I am for peaceful protesting against riots. I'm totally against that. More blood is shed when individuals riot. So I think there's a better way we can voice our opinion. Our voices will be heard. We need to get out and we need to vote. We need to vote. We definitely need to vote. We need to make changes on the state level. We need to make changes on the federal level. And so we need to really get out and vote. This election coming up, there's election coming up in a couple of weeks. Well, matter of fact, Tuesday. Hopefully everyone has voted. And then we have the big election in November. We need to vote. This election year is so important. We can control the House and the Senate. So we really need to get out and vote.
Before I let you go in with the Reverend Brother Jrich, Reverend, just talk about a Brother Jrich had mentioned, like you were saying, how we used to do back in the day as a people. He wasn't really protesting; it was more boycotting. What do you think about that? Is it a lack of leadership that's causing a lot of these things to happen? Should we have more leadership to start using our money to make a statement in these day and times?
I think so. It's so funny you talked about that and how about putting economics back in our community. I don't know if anybody's seen a movie called The Banker.
Yes.
Have you heard about the movie called The Banker?
Oh, yeah, it's a phenomenal movie.
Oh, my goodness. It's such amazing how two African Americans brought up wealth and then turns around and loan the money to, the business so the businesses can prosper. And I mean, man, that right there, that was that's a blueprint on how, we can be very resourceful if we come together as one, but in order to do that, that mentality has to be destroyed that has festered in us over here, which is divide and conquer. As Jim Crow has put that in our mindset, divide and conquer, the have and the have not, and we need to destroy that. I said, because, we're fighting among ourselves. One of the questions that I see is should we defend ourselves? I know that's in one of the questions tonight. It's about should we defend ourselves?
Yes.
But the thing of it is that who do we defend ourselves against? There are four entities that the black man has to defend himself against. We have to defend ourselves against Corona. We have to defend ourselves against the police officers. We have to defend ourselves against citizens that do not look like us. And then finally, we have to defend ourselves against people who walk like us, talk like us, and look like us. But those individuals who walk and talk like us, even though they are color, they may not be our kind. So we have to defend ourselves against so many entities, and we have always been in that mode of survival. We've always been in the mode of survival. We have never stopped defending ourselves because of the slavery. If you know anything, slavery has caused us that mentality to always survive. We're always in a survival mode. We've always defended. We can't trust anybody, And so I think that we had to destroy or tear down those layers of those fabrics that we had in order to try to get ahead first. And we got to build up trust in one another. And then I think we can move forward.
I got to get to some more calls, Brother John, but just tell the people how they can get in contact with you. And then before I let you and Jrich go in, because I know y'all going to flow for a second.
Yeah. You can contact me at jmoran40@gmail.com.
And that was John Moran40 at Gmail. Got you.
Yeah,
got
jmoran40@gmail.com. Yep.
Go ahead, Brother Jrich. So I can take another call. Go ahead.
The Reverend made two great points, and going right back to what I said at the very beginning. Judges are voted in. DAs are voted in. The sheriff is voted in. Your city council is voted in. Your representatives are all voted in. You got to get out there and vote. And if they're not, you know what I mean, on a platform that benefits us, and a lot of them look just like us, but they're not on a platform that benefit us. The other thing, when you said about like the banker, true story. Hyattsville, Maryland, used to be all white, and I'll make this brief. Hispanics started moving in, whites started moving out, more Hispanics moved in. They had nowhere because, like, you know what I mean. Some people are undocumented, so some people are documented. They had no place to bank at. They had a couple of people that started working at Bank of America. They took their money to Bank of America. Then they tried to get loans for houses. Bank of America was like, nah, you know what I mean? Y'all doing construction. It's too seasonal. It's this and that. You know, Bank of America gave them the runaround. Same runaround they give us. What they did as a community was, okay, no problem. We're going to tell everyone to pull all of their money out of Bank of America, and we're going to find another financial institution that's going to give us loans so that we can start buying houses. Now you ride through Hyattsville and through Riverdale, and just about the whole staff and all of those Bank of Americas are all Hispanic, and they give loans to buy houses. They come together as maybe two families to buy one house. Once they have enough equity in that house, they take the equity out, they buy another house. It's the exact same thing that we can do if we just pool our resources together. I think that you made, and I tell people this all the time, Hyattsville was not like that. Hyattsville was like that because they used their financial power. They used their financial power, and they went in there and they put pressure on Bank of America and made them give them loans.
That was powerful. But John, you want to close out before I take a next call?
Yeah, sure. Man, that was excellent, man. I tell you, man, that was excellent. And if we just had that mentality, learn from our Hispanic brothers and sisters, you know, we will be better off. We will be better off to come together, pull our resources, and move forward, and be a prominent people like we were made and destined to be.
Right. All right. Well, thanks again, Reverend John Moran. And drop your email for me one more time if anybody wants to reach out to you.
JMORANT40@gmail.com.
Awesome. Appreciate your call.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, take care.
All right. That was Reverend John Moran. He's always blessing us with the knowledge. You got to check out some of our previous shows we did with the Reverend. Is Religion Holding Black People Back? That was a powerful one. And he's been in a lot of controversial shows. So I definitely want to put y'all down with that. Let me take the next call, 4653. I'm taking the next call, 4653. You are live on the air. Are you there, caller?
I am.
Peace and blessings. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Magenta Prairie. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry, your name again?
Magenta Prairie. It's Kelsey.
Oh.
I was on your show.
Oh, what's up, Magenta? How you doing? I didn't know that was you. I got you. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. You wanted to add to the convo tonight?
Yeah, this is with everything going on. It's really, I kind of like have been telling people, like, you know, don't take that bait that the media is going to be feeding you, because I feel like this is the type of stuff that what happens is there's an uprising, and then they take the quote unquote the rioting and the bad, and they put that on media, and then you hear the white community. Well, that's just not the way to go about anything, and we completely overlook what got people to that point of anger and rage and being unheard for so long.
Right.
And that's a conversation I try to spark with a lot of other white people. I mean, I was having this conversation with my dad and my mom earlier today, and telling them, the well-oiled machine. And what's happening right now, this is all because of white supremacy, that we're here where we are right now. And this is a system that is not benefiting people of color, and it wasn't made to benefit people of color. And I don't know, violence, rioting, all that stuff, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand why you would feel that way. It's completely